Thank you for clicking on this video. In it, I'm going to tell you a bit about how I learned German in 8 months. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in.
This is the shortened version of this video. The longer one is available exclusively on Patreon.
Hello and welcome to Naturally High, the channel that helps you grow your 4A, 4B and especially for C hair to longer lengths. Those of you who are following me on Instagram will know about my German language learning journey because you will have checked out the highlight #German. If you are curious about that, just head over to my Instagram. You can follow me now at naturally_high_hair and check out the German highlight. There you'll see kind of from the very beginning how my journey unfolded. Also dann fangen wir auf Deutsch an. Vor 2 Jahren bin ich in die Schweiz umgezogen aus den Niederlanden und ja, also ich habe beschlossen, sofort an einem intensiven Deutschkurs teilzunehmen, da durch mein Erlebnis in den Niederlanden habe ich es bemerkt, dass es ein bisschen isolierend sein kann, wenn man die Sprache also von dem Land, wo man wohnt, nicht spricht. Und in der Schweiz spricht man 4 Sprachen und wo ich wohne, in Zürich, spricht man Hochdeutsch, also spricht man Deutsch, aber ja, das ist eine andere Geschichte. Ich erinnere mich daran, dass während meines ersten Monats in der Schweiz, dass ich in ein Fitnessstudio gegangen bin, weil ich ein Abo wollte und ich konnte mich gar nicht ausdrücken. Also gar nicht. Ich wollte einfach sagen, ja, ich möchte anmelden, wie mache ich das? Und
Note that this is an unscripted video and I didn't look anything up directly prior to filming this. So it's really off the cuff and you will hear mistakes and filler words and so on. I wanted to give you all an authentic reflection of my current level of German.
Ich konnte nichts sagen. Also ja, nach einem Monat in der Schweiz habe ich mit einem intensiven Deutschkurs angefangen und ich hatte jeden Tag eine Lektion für 2 Stunden und nachher habe ich versucht, so viel wie möglich Deutsch mit meinen Freunden zu sprechen und auch mit meinem Freund. Und es war aber für mich sehr wichtig, dass ich diese Sprache lernte und deswegen habe ich viel versucht. Also jede Gelegenheit habe ich genommen. Ich weiß nicht, ob man das auf Deutsch sagen kann, aber ich sage das einfach. Ich habe einfach jede Gelegenheit genommen, um die Sprache zu üben. Und nach 8 Monaten habe ich private Lektionen gehabt, weil ich bemerkt habe, dass ich ziemlich schnell lernte und dass ich vielleicht alleine besser lernen konnte. The first part was just being on this intensive course and spending 2 hours per day learning German intensively, and on top of that dedicating considerable time socially to speaking the language as much as possible at every given opportunity. That was not easy at all. I distinctly remember a social event that I went to, I think about 2 months into a course, and everyone there speaking German, and I remember feeling so stressed because I'm an extroverted person. I love to converse with all kinds of people about all kinds of things, and I just remember feeling so inhibited, and I had this burning desire to really be able to properly understand what everyone was saying, but I was so hindered, and I was hindered not only by my limited command of the language but also by fear of saying something silly, fear of looking stupid. And I'm going to get a bit philosophical now. So what separates us from babies? What separates us from children? As far as language learning is concerned, lots of people are of the opinion that babies learn languages more easily because their brains exhibit more neuroplasticity. And I think that the reason that babies and children in general learn languages more easily is because they're uninhibited, because they have no reference point. I'm very used to being able to communicate at a specific level in my mother tongue, and so are you. In your mother tongue. You are used to being able to, I don't know, have meetings, speak to your family, speak to your friends, order things, just do all kinds of daily tasks without having to put much thought into your language. And then to suddenly be thrust into a situation where something as simple as following up on something someone has said in a social interaction is exceedingly difficult. That kind of pressure is debilitating. And I entirely understand why people give up when they're learning a new language, because there is that initial hurdle to overcome. But once you do overcome it, I'm telling you, things get much easier. Ich habe etwas bemerkt, und zwar, dass wenn man Englisch nicht so gut spricht, dass das wirklich ein großes Problem ist. Aber wenn man Deutsch oder Spanisch nicht so gut spricht, auf jeden Fall sind die Leute sehr sympathisch und sie haben viel Geduld. In der Schweiz, wenn ich Deutsch spreche, sagen die Leute viel, du sprichst sehr gut, dein Deutsch ist super. Und das haben sie fast immer gesagt, seitdem ich dorthin umgezogen bin. Es war für mich eine Überraschung. Ich glaube, ich habe erwartet, dass die Leute mit mir nicht so nett sein würden. Aber ja, ich muss eine andere Geschichte erzählen. Sie haben mich sehr ermutigt, einfach zu probieren, einfach mich auszudrücken. Und das hat einen großen Unterschied gemacht. Und ich glaube, dass als Englischsprachler wir dieses Problem haben, weil wir vielleicht nicht so nett sind mit Leuten, die kein Englisch als Muttersprache sprechen. Ich glaube, wir haben nicht so viel Geduld, wenn jemand irgendeinen Fehler auf Englisch macht. Aber also durch meine Erfahrung habe ich bemerkt, dass es so nicht sein muss. Something you might not know about me is that I am absolutely obsessed with grammar. I find it fascinating. I love to talk about it. In fact, I can pull up an article from my email recently from a journal I'm subscribed to, just to show you how fascinated I am with grammar. What did the comma say to the question mark? I'll never date another apostrophe. The last one was too possessive. Do you know what the fastest way to my heart is? Naturally high. Will you be my present perfect? Oh. What do you call Santa's elves? Subordinate clauses. And this is a personal favourite. It's a bit risque. When I'm finished with you, you'll never forget the difference between lie and lay. Let's make like an infinitive and never be split. So the side note is not entirely over. I feel like there's some background I should give you, and that is that I am an English teacher. I started teaching English in Spain back in 2011 when I moved to Spain, and I did that without any qualifications. I just managed to find some fly-by-night school that was willing to take me literally off of the street and put me in front of a class of children. And I taught there, and that was brilliant. And then I taught at some other schools as well. Als ich an der Universität studiert habe, habe ich auch Englisch als Fremdsprache unterrichtet. Dadurch habe ich mich als Englischlehrerin qualifiziert. Und dann habe ich Englisch durch mein ganzes Studium unterrichtet. Und also mein Bachelor und mein Master, und ich habe viel Spaß beim Unterrichten auch. The reason I bring this up is so that I can present a bit more context surrounding my German language learning journey, because I find grammar absolutely fascinating. So I would spend lots of time just deconstructing all kinds of things. Like if I saw a sign on the road, I'd just say, why is that in the genitive? Or is that the gender of that noun, or is that article doing something different? So I would really home in on those kinds of things, and I think most people aren't like that. So I must also say I'm an exception in that sense, because I find grammar just incredible. I love the way it regulates the little puzzle pieces we call words and how they ought to fit together. There were a few things I did to breathe a bit more energy into my language learning success. One of those things was recording myself. I mentioned in my How I Learnt Spanish in Spain video that I like to talk to myself, and I also do this in German a lot. So if you just, stumble across me in my house, which you really shouldn't, on any given day you'll just hear me kind of pottering about and talking to myself in German and identifying little objects and talking about what's going on. And the reason I do that is because I like to really scrutinise the extent to which I can express myself. And then as soon as I get to a point where I think, how would I say that correctly? I think, aha, that's something I need to learn how to say. And then I'll write it down and I'll look it up. Well, I won't always write it. Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't write it down, but I'll definitely look it up and I'll use that again. So then the next time I'm in that situation where I'm saying that thing, I know exactly how to say it and I can use it with confidence. Something else I did a lot was watch series in German on Netflix. And watching series alone isn't necessarily the best way to pick up an active command of a language, at least not in my experience, but it helps with the ability to hear the sounds, hear the phonemes, hear how things go together. And I think it can also help with implicit understanding of what's being said and give you a feel for how the language sounds and help you develop the accent as well. Some series I watched in German are Dogs of Berlin, Sex Education, Freud, Wanderlust. The list goes on. My strategy has always been to watch the show with German subtitles because that way you can hear the words and see them at the same time, so you can really put the sound to the word. If your comprehension isn't so good yet, and actually I think this varies from series to series, some series are simply much more difficult to watch in a foreign language, then you can either re-watch something you've already watched in English or in your native language, or you can watch that show with English subtitles and then watch it again with German subtitles. Something else you can try, which is kind of related to the first point, is uploading videos of yourself talking to your social media accounts, so your Snapchat or your Instagram. So I did that on Instagram and I started doing that 2 years ago, and basically lots of things I would say in English I would force myself to also attempt to say in German, and then I'd get DMs from people, I'd get DMs from native speakers saying, oh actually I would say this like this, or oh you said that really well. And that also helps to gauge where you are, and you can kind of establish this authenticity and this vulnerability, let everybody know that you're a beginner. And I think that that means when you meet with people in person, you're already primed and they're already primed for where you currently are in that language. Speaking of meeting with people in person, as often as possible try to speak to native speakers, and there is really no excuse in this day and age. So just because you don't live in a German speaking country or a Spanish speaking country doesn't mean that you won't be able to learn the language. There are so many applications you can use and websites you can use to meet with people who want to learn your native language and want to help you learn theirs. One such application that I used a lot when I moved to Switzerland is called Tandem, and it was the perfect complement to my classes because on days when my friends and boyfriend didn't feel like putting up with me and my annoying questions about German grammar, my Tandem partner was more than happy to help. You know those moments when you're talking to yourself and you're noting things down that you can't say and you're looking them up? You can always bring those little phrases and expressions to your meeting with your tandem and have them clarified. There are lots of peculiar things that happen to you when you learn a second and third language, at least in my experience, and I would like to share them in a future video. Have you experienced anything strange from having learnt a second or third or fourth or whatever language as an adult? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what you think has happened to me, and I will reveal it to you in an upcoming video. I'm going to leave you with this. What's the easiest way to eat an elephant? In bite-sized chunks. Don't try to master an entire language in a given time. That's not possible. Take little steps, and with small steps and consistency you will see results. I urge you to dedicate a small amount of time every day to the language you're trying to learn, and you will see results in the long term, I promise. I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope it's given you some motivation and some concrete tips for learning another language.
I'd like to extend an enormous welcome to my first Patreon patrons, Antoinette and Michelle. Thank you for helping to create a tight-knit community with me. I hope you're excited about the bonus footage, voting rights, coaching, and other exclusive benefits this membership affords you. If you haven't yet signed up for one of my Patreon tiers, you're missing out on bonus content. Check out the link in the description and sign up today.